Before we start, just a reminder that you can see a lot more about models on the Cranes etc. website, and the link to it is in the video description below. Also, if you want to know where you can buy scale models, then you can click on links on the website, including those in the shopping mall. And listed here are dealers that sell models in countries across the world. The model of the Liebherr PR776 crawler tractor first appeared in 2016. This updated version of the model was presented at the Bauma show in October 2022. If we go to the end of the box, we see that it's made by WSI Models. It seems to have two model numbers, but we'll refer to it as model 642005. We head over straight to the Cranes etc. weighbridge, and the box weighs in at about 2 pounds 2 ounces, and that's just a little bit under 1 kilogram. Without any more delay, let's open the box and see what's inside. The finger holes invite you to pull out the expanded polystyrene trays, and as they're marked top or bottom, we know whether we're in the upside down world or not. The next job is to get out a sharp knife, and then act as if you're some kind of clinical surgeon, carefully cutting the tape. Maybe one day all models will have clip-together trays so that you won't need to cut tapes like this. But for now, the knife gets to keep its job as we work our way around the box. Just when you think you're done, there's always a little bit more to do, and then we can lift the lid. This gives us our first view of the model, and it's wrapped in a soft clear plastic. And then we need to carefully lift it out with the giant hand crane. There's no assembly to do on this model because it is complete, out of the box. Onto the weighbridge goes the 776, and it's 1 pound 12 ounces, and that's bang on 800 grams. We dive underneath, and firstly we look at the metal crawler tracks, and there's also detailing on the underside of the body. Within the casting there's both Liebherr and WSI models embossed, and you can see the underside of the ripper also. There's also plenty of detailing of the underside of the big U-blade. The overall appearance of the detailing on this model is very crisp. That includes the big drive sprocket, and also the track frames have got many details within the casting. Even the small grab rail on the track frame is metal, and the overall appearance is really good. A nice touch is that there's a usable towing hitch underneath the ripper. And moving on to the ripper itself, it's a heavy-duty piece of model engineering. There are plenty of soft hydraulic hoses to add to the realism, and there's some tiny graphics applied. The ripper shank itself is well shaped with a nice sharp tooth. Looking at the end of the ripper assembly, and there are more small graphics. A change on this version of the model is the fire suppression equipment, and the model is really good in terms of the etched grills. That also continues into the walkways, which are also etched, and all of the walkway handrails are made of metal, and that includes the access ladder. Up on the roof there is a beacon light, and the mirrors are one of the few plastic parts. A first class detail is the etched engine grills, and you can also see bolt head details within the casting. Another change on this model are the heat protection shields on the exhaust pipes. And if we move to the front, the hydraulic hoses to the lift rams have got connectors. There's another etched grille behind. The radiator grille at the front is also fully see-through, and the Liebherr name sits on top. The cab detailing is also to a high standard with Liebherr on the seat back, and the high standard continues with the blade, which is a change on this model. It's now a full U-blade. It's got wear protection on the bottom and see-through slats at the top, and the structure on the back of the U-blade is nicely modelled. The plastic ram jackets have an excellent colour match. The connection rivets used on the model are painted. With the model on its back, we can try rolling the tracks, and as you can see they do roll, but perhaps they're not the smoothest. One feature that's good to see on a model like this is the oscillating track frames, and that works well. With the model right side up, we can take another look at the tracks, and after a bit more of a roll, we'll take a look at the rollers at the bottom. And although the individual rollers don't roll, the pairs are mounted on oscillating frames. Out we go onto the Cranes etc. test track, and although the tracks can grip, there's just a bit too much stickiness for them to roll nicely, so you have to apply a fair bit of downward pressure. This version of the model does have a new feature, and that's the lowering staircase, which is an option on the real machine. You can set it wonky like this if you want, or you can straighten it up a bit. And when you've got yourself up in the cab, you can then rotate the ladder back up. The ripper at the back is a heavy-duty affair, and the hydraulic rams on this version of the model are just the right stiffness. You have a full degree of movement on the hydraulic rams, and there's enough friction to hold the model up on the ripper, but it also moves smoothly and will pose in any position. The big ripper shank can also be positioned at a variety of different lengths, and there's no need to muck about by unpinning and pinning it. Moving to the front, and the big heavy U-blade has got a decent amount of upward movement, and with a bit of wrist action you can also tilt it side to side, and a very small degree of forward tilt is also possible. In terms of overall detailing and quality, this model of the PR776 by WSI Models is one of the best large crawler tractor models. The enhancements on this version of the model give it some extra functionality and details, and overall it's a really impressive and good looking model. So if you'd like a large mining crawler tractor, this one is excellent.